Oh boy, a Pikmin video! It's been a while since Nintendo has provided any new information for Pikmin 3. The latest updates that we've received, they're simply screenshots. We got some from January 23rd, I know it's been a while, and some from the beginning of March, which is still a long time. And yeah, the reason I hadn't made a video about them yet is because they are simply screenshots, so I didn't really deem them that significant, but I decided, why not talk about them? And I also wanted to go over a few subtle secrets that have that I've uprooted from the Nintendo Direct from the December 5th one. So yeah, let's get started with that. And
here we go!
The first thing to note as the video begins is the Dwarf Bulborb who notices Captain B and her Pikmin. The distance between Captain B and the Dwarf Bulborb when the monster notices her seems to be quite longer than in the previous games. This is probably to make up for the motion controls which allow you to throw farther distances, so it balances things out a little. However, the Bulborb to the right only seems to notice them once they get in front of them. This means that Bulborbs must have some sort of range of sight, which allows them to sense you easier if you're in front of them. Something else that I noticed is that when Captain B brushed by the second Bulborb, it woke up almost immediately, unlike the two games before, where they had a little bit of lag time before they woke up. This adds more challenge to the game because you'll have to react quicker to waking Bulborbs. One last thing I wanted to say about the first few seconds of the footage. There is a small chunk of wood carved out of the stump to the right. It's really interesting and I have no idea what it could be for. Maybe it was an area where treasure was being stored. Moving on, I noticed as Captain B was moving through that pathway, the camera seemed to be automatically moving around and adjusting to the pathway. If there is an automatic camera adjusting function, this is probably used to free up one of the buttons. However, I highly doubt this is the case, because during the E3 demo, they did in fact have a button to switch around the camera, and it worked pretty well, so I don't see why they'd change it. The lone Bulborb found in the alcove at the end of the pathway appears to have less saturated irises compared to the other Bulborbs. Could this mean that creatures of the same species can vary a little? The little things that Nintendo adds to make the game more real is just amazing, and I can't wait to see how immersive the final game is. The crab that struts out of the small pond appears to have a crystal-like claw, which may be able to be shattered with the assistance of rock Pikmin, much like the shell of the armored Maudad. This crab could possibly be related to the segmented crobster from Pikmin 2. Since both of them are crustaceans with one arm larger than the other. The family the segmented crobster is from, the creep crab family, applies quite well. Partway through the battle against the crab, Captain A accidentally throws two red Pikmin into the water, behind the crab. After a short amount of time, they both jump out of the water without being whistled. It just goes to show, Pikmin have become smarter. Interestingly, under the line that connects from Captain A and the cursor, there is a shadow. It's very hard to notice, but it may just be there for development. Also, when Captain A gets captured by the crab's bubbles, and you listen carefully, you can hear faint crying. It sounds like Captain A is making those noises. I'll turn up the volume so you can hear it. Something I thought was quite interesting was that in the first two clips, you never see the other captain anywhere. Maybe this could be a hint to something about the storyline. Would it be possible that each of the captains must find each other throughout their journey? This could possibly hint towards the plot as well. What if the storyline of the game is that Olimar, maybe Louie, and the four new captains are exploring, but somehow get lost, and they must get back together. So over the span of the game, you find new captains one by one, which help you dish out tasks more, and you get closer to locating Olimar and Louie, who may be unconscious. I don't know, it's only a prediction. When the video clips to the dark cave scene, the Spotty Bulbear begins chasing the group. Notice how it seems to target Captain A specifically. It kinda gives up eating the captain and instead eats some Pikmin. Later through the video, the Bulbear belches after eating a few Pikmin. The Bulbear has different ways of eating Pikmin. It mostly throws the Pikmin up into the air and catches them in its mouth, but it also reaches forward to grab some Pikmin and quickly eats them. Again, Nintendo is showing off how realistic they are making the game. A lot of people have noticed the fight in between the Dwarf Bulbear and the Rock Pikmin in the background, which has led people to believe that idle Rock Pikmin are incapable of being eaten by smaller enemies. This is obviously not true, as right before the epic battle, another Rock Pikmin gets consumed by another Dwarf Bulbear. Pay attention to Captain B as the group runs from the Bulbear. She doesn't follow Captain E like Louie does to Olimar. She slightly trails off a little sometimes, which means there might be a slight AI, even when she is following you. When the group reaches the Blowhogs, Captain A throws Captain B, who begins headbutting the Blowhog upon impact. It looks like the other captains will be programmed to complete a task when they're thrown. There are tons of wires laying about the area, which are giving off sparks every few seconds at points where the wires are split. This is probably an electrical hazard, which yellow Pikmin can resist. I can't find anything else to say about the scene with the moth in it, but I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. The next scene features an autumn-like area with lily pads used to navigate the pond. Notice how when Captain A picks up a Pikmin to throw, the light blue line leading to the cursor changes into an arc the same color as the Pikmin currently being held. It switches from white to red, yellow to purple, then to blue, which represents the other captain. The arc gives you an idea of how your Pikmin will travel through the air. As you can see, the yellow Pikmin has a higher arc than the rest. Interestingly, purple Pikmin seem to have a very generic arc. It's the same shape as the rest, only has a lower maximum height. This could mean that they now have a more realistic throwing arc, and probably also do not home in on enemies. The arc for captains is very low, probably so you cannot exploit captain throwing too much to your advantage. Much like before, Captain B automatically begins a task after thrown. Not much else can be examined from this scene, besides the spot caps that can be seen in the background. Alright, now that I've covered the smaller secrets that I've found in the video, I'd like to show you the new screenshots, and what I've picked up from them. Why don't y'all sit back and relax, cause I'm probably gonna play some generic music that I typically put on a slideshow with a bunch of Pikmin images. It's not the Picklopedia or Treasure Hoard theme, not that one, of course. Of course, I'm not gonna do that one. Who would do that? Okay, well, just go ahead and listen to it. Pretty cool screenshots, huh? Yeah, the graphics in this game, they're pretty fucking amazing, dude. So a little background on these things. Apparently these are screenshots taken with a new feature in the game, where you use the Wii U gamepad as kind of like a camera, and you can like make it so it's first person from the captain's point of view, and you can take pictures and stuff. So Miyamoto tested this out, and these are, Shigeru Miyamoto, I should say, and he took these photos to test it, and they look pretty fantastic, dude. So one in specific I wanted to talk about. I mean, they're mostly things we've already seen before, but it's the one with the spectralid thingies things. I just call them spectralids because, I mean, there's the unmarked spectralids, so these are obviously some sort of spectralid, not a marked spectralid, because that's a dumb generic name. I noticed that they have little feetsies. They have little black stubby, not really stubby feetsies, and I just thought that was really cute, and I'm glad we could have gotten a closer look at them. I love how fuzzy they are. It's just like, it's hella fucking cute, dude. The ones with the spotty bull bears in there, those are fucking cool, dude, because like the eye effects thing, like the little eye effects that they have, it's so like realistic, it's ridiculous. I just love it. Anyways, that's about all I have to say about these. I mean, other than the fact that they're just really awesome, dude. Anyways, I think I'm going to move on to the newer screenshots, or the more recent ones that were released on March, I think the beginning of the month. I found them then, but then they kind of started spreading later, actually, so yeah. Let us begin with new song, because this one is going to end. Alright, so these ones were released March, around the beginning of the month. as opposed to the other ones that I just showed you, which were released January during a Nintendo Direct, where they were showing off that new feature, which will be shared by many other games. So this one at first doesn't seem to reveal much. If you do notice, there is Captain C falling down with all the Pikmin, and in the back you can see Captain B, which interestingly, it seems like her suit color kind of changed, and I'll get to that later. I'll also get to Captain C later. But something in the background that I noticed, there is a pool of water, and there's like a little balls in there, very circular kind of objects, and I do believe that those are Wogpoles. They look very, very, very Wogpole-ish, so that kind of confirms that Amphitubers will come back in this game, so have fun with your Wollywogs, kids. If you don't like them, then why you play Pikmin? I mean, you're kind of expected to fight a few Wollywogs in your day. I mean, moving on, it seems like the Pikmin are kind of like being launched off that little icicle ramp, so it kind of seems like ice would be some kind of like hazard of some sort that makes it so you kind of slip and that kind of stuff, so you never know. And as you can see, it did kind of put them in a dangerous situation against one of the more dangerous, or at least what seems to be one of the most dangerous enemies in the game. I mean, honestly, I didn't have any problems fighting it with 8 rock Pikmin when I played the demo, but whatever. Alright, this next screenshot, I have a little more to talk about. Now, as you can see, Captain C has a lot more of a developed design as compared to his concept art, so, and he still kept his little star thingy, so he still seems to have some sort of authority. We can get a better look of Captain A, and if you look closely, you can see that he has cute little freckles, and I thought that was really nice. Especially because the models that were used in Pikmin 1 and 2 actually did not have textures, they just were colored, and with no texturing at all, so it's nice that they're moving on to actual textures now. Captain B in the back, as you can see, she looks about the same as she did in the Nintendo Direct, besides the fact that she did get a color change, so instead of being yellow, she is a kind of maroon color, pinkish red, and so I'm not sure why they did that. Honestly, I would have thought that yellow would work better, but whatever. Some people may be wondering, where's Captain D? Well, that's probably because they have not finished his model. And there has been a lot of controversy lately with an interview with Miyamoto where he only mentioned 3 captains, and people were kind of getting worried, like, oh no, Captain D's gone? And I could relieve this by saying, well, first off, why would they remove a captain, and why would they make the game 3-player instead of 4? Second off, there was I guess it's an interview, but it was an interview with one of the people that were in charge of the booths, like the demo booths, and they were talking about how you can control 4 captains, and this was a recent one, so obviously they're still planning on having 4 captains, so I'm pretty sure they're still gonna have D. If not, that's sad, because he's probably my favorite, but that's just an opinion. So, yeah, don't worry about it. I wouldn't get too worried until the game comes out and he's just not there. And they just leave a little note on the title screen saying, haha, I bet you wanted D, huh? You wanted the D. You wanted D in this game. Well, you can't have him now. But yeah, don't worry about it, because I'm pretty sure in that interview, Miyamoto was just referring to the current build of the game, which featured only 3 captains, because they, had not finished his model yet. Another thing I noticed from the screenshot, and brought up by Daz Reviews, so if you don't watch him, this will probably be new to you. In the background, I can kind of see like what seems to be the stock of a pellet posy, so I just thought that was kind of cool. I hope we'll be seeing that again. I'm pretty sure we will. I mean, why wouldn't we? So yeah. Moving on to the next screenshot. This screenshot in specific is probably the most interesting of them all. First off, Captain A appears to be carrying some kind of communicator, or maybe a camera. Now, if it's a communicator, then this could support my theory of a plot where you begin the game with only 1 captain and you must communicate with the other captains from a distance to find them. Either that, or that might just be an element in the game where you can have captains in different areas, and you can communicate from long distances. Now, if it's a camera, then it must be the device that is used to take pictures, much like the ones that I showed earlier. I feel like it's more likely to be a communicator, as there's a little camera on the top that points at yourself, so the person you're chatting with can view you. Now, this doesn't exactly make sense, because if Captain B is communicating with Captain A, how is she holding the communicator? Both of her hands are free. It could be that the communicator is actually being stood up on a tripod or something. I don't exactly know. But the next thing I want to talk about is look at those HD hands, dude. If that's what the actual model looks like, I'm impressed. The last thing I want to talk about in this screenshot, the background of this image is kind of weird. It kind of seems like it's a snowy area of some sort, but I don't know. And it varies a lot from Captain B's area, where she seems to be at. Which, again, kind of supports my theory. What if they're communicating from different areas? The screenshot may be a screenshot of a cutscene as well, so there might be scripted sequences where you must talk to your partners. I don't know, I'm just pulling predictions out of my butt. What do you expect from me? One last thing before I forget. With the new screenshots that were released to show off the new feature for the gamepad to take the pictures, there's a slightly different Pikmin 3 logo than we're normally used to. The normal Pikmin 3 logo that we usually see has kind of like pink lavender flowers on the 3. However, the one that were shown had orange flowers. This has caused quite a controversy as to what it could mean. A lot of people think that it's hinting towards more Pikmin with orange flowers, but I don't think this is exactly true, because the flowers that are on top of Pikmin's heads are based off of a plant called the Sutera cordata. Sutera cordatas come in 3 varieties: white, pink, and lavender. Now, we've seen white on red, yellow, and blue Pikmin, and we've seen pink on white and purple, and then we've seen lavender on rock and pink Pikmin. This leaves orange-flowered Pikmin out of the picture, because orange Sutera cordatas seem a little unnatural for Pikmin. Obviously, there's something that Nintendo is hiding about this, but I'm just not sure what it could be. I could be wrong for all we know. I mean, they could just introduce a new kind of Pikmin that has orange flowers. Heck, they could replace the lavender flowers with orange ones. I don't know. Regardless, we're gonna have to wait to figure it out. So, alright, well, that's about all I can really say as far as Pikmin 3 news as of now. I'm not sure. It's April right now when I'm making this video. I'm not sure when Nintendo's going to make another video or give us another update, but hopefully they'll give us one this month, maybe the middle of the month. You know, the game's around the corner, so they said Q2 2013, so I should be expecting it sometime. I mean, it's not like it's just gonna disappear. Anything else I can say? There's an interview with Miyamoto that where he said that Pikmin 3 can actually be played on just the Wii U gamepad, so that's pretty impressive for the Wii U. Other than that, I don't think I can think of anything else that's very significant for me to update you guys with. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back next time there's a Pikmin update. So see you then.